The community center was buzzing. I arrived breathless after a 14-hour shift at the bakery, my simple dress feeling out of place among the glittering gowns. I had worked for weeks on this fundraising gala, coordinating volunteers, arranging silent auction items, doing everything behind the scenes. My sister Lila stood at the entrance, radiant in a silver gown, holding court. She was the event's public face. As I moved toward the group photo area, hoping to blend in, Lila's hand shot out. She gripped my arm, her smile fixed for the cameras. "Lori," she hissed, her voice a venomous whisper. "What are you doing? Stand at the back where no one will notice. You're lucky we let you volunteer." The words were a physical slap. Before I could react, the event coordinator, Ms. Evans, stepped onto the small stage. She tapped the microphone. "Quiet, everyone. Before we begin, a huge thank you to our main sponsor, whose incredible generosity made tonight possible." The crowd hushed. Ms. Evans scanned the room, her brow furrowed. "Now, where's Lori Ward?" A ripple of confusion passed through the crowd. People turned, looking around. Lila's perfect smile froze, then cracked at the edges. Her eyes darted to me, wide with disbelief. My heart hammered against my ribs. This had to be a mistake. I took a small, hesitant step forward from the shadows near the wall. "I'm Lori Ward," I said, my voice barely audible. Ms. Evans's face lit up. "There you are. Everyone, please give a round of applause for Lori." It was her proposal that secured the major donation funding this entire event. Polite, confused applause filled the room. Lila's shock melted into fury. She stepped forward, grabbing for the microphone. "There must be some confusion," Lila said, her laugh too bright. "I handled all the sponsor outreach. Lori just helped with some paperwork." Ms. Evans gently but firmly kept hold of the mic. "The documentation is quite clear, Lila." She turned back to me, her expression serious. "Lori, could I speak with you privately for a moment? There's something important you need to hear." Ms. Evans led me to a small, quiet office off the main hall. The sounds of the gala became muffled. "Sit, please," she said. I perched on the edge of a chair, my mind racing. "Lori, the main donation came from an anonymous local philanthropist. They specified you by name. They were impressed by a community program grant proposal you submitted months ago to the city council." I remembered that proposal. It was a dream project, a free after-school arts program for kids in our neighborhood. I'd spent months on it. The rejection letter had been brief and generic. "I thought it was rejected," I whispered. Ms. Evans smiled. "It was, by the city. But a board member shared it with this donor, who thought it was exceptional. They want to fully fund it. Not just fund it." She leaned forward. "They want you to head the program. They're asking you to be the director." I floated back into the main hall in a daze. The noise washed over me. Director. My own program. Before I could process it, Lila materialized in front of me, her smile gone, replaced by a cold mask of anger. "What did you do?" she seethed, pulling me into an alcove. "How did you manipulate this? Were you trying to sabotage my night?" I shook my head, trying to find words. "Lila, I didn't know. It was the proposal I wrote. No one cares about your little essays, Lori," she spat. "You always have to make everything about you, don't you? Steal the spotlight because you have nothing of your own." Our mother appeared then, her face tight with disapproval. She had heard Lila's last words. She looked at me, not Lila. "Lori, for once, can't you just be supportive? Must you always cause a scene?" The familiar ache of injustice settled in my chest. I said nothing. I left the gala early, the congratulations from a few kind strangers ringing hollow. Home was a small apartment above the bakery. The silence was a relief. Then my phone began to buzz incessantly. Our family group chat was exploding. Lila had sent a message, "So disappointed tonight. Some people will lie and scheme for attention, even if it hurts the whole family. My aunt replied, "Who, Lila?" "My cousin, sounds like Lori. Always so quiet, you know they're the sneaky ones." Message after message piled on, assumptions flying. I read every one, my fingers numb. I didn't cry. I just watched the screen light up with their collective judgment. Then, a new notification appeared, separate from the chat. An email. The sender was marked Assistant to Anonymous Donor. The subject line read, Meeting Request. The preview text said, "We'd like to meet tomorrow. There's something important you should know." The meeting was at a quiet downtown library. A kind-looking older man with gentle eyes and a neat beard waited for me. He introduced himself as Harold Marsh, a retired businessman. "Please, call me Harold," he said. "I've been your anonymous sponsor." I was speechless. Harold Marsh was a local legend, known for his quiet philanthropy. "I've observed your work for months, Lori," he explained. "The bakery's donations to the shelter, the hours you tutor at the library. Consistency and kindness. Your proposal was the final proof. I want to fund your ideas properly." He pushed a folder toward me. "The program is yours. But you should be prepared. There's been interference." My stomach dropped. "What kind of interference?" Harold's expression turned grave. "Someone tried to take credit for your work before we could announce." Harold opened the folder. Inside was a printed email. It was from Lila's personal email address, sent to the Community Foundation's General Inquiry box weeks earlier. The subject was Clarification on Ward Proposal. The body read, "Hello, I'm Lila Ward, lead contributor to the Community Arts Proposal. My sister Lori helped with formatting and minor edits, but the vision and work are mine. I'm concerned she may be representing it otherwise. Please direct all correspondence to me." The words blurred. I knew Lila was jealous, but this was theft. A calculated move to erase me. Why didn't they believe her? I asked, my voice thick. "The foundation director knows my signature," Harold said simply. "The proposal had your voice, your heart. It didn't match Lila's style." He closed the folder. "The question is, Lori, are you still willing to be the director? There may be more backlash." I sat in my apartment that night, Harold's question hanging in the air. The family chat was finally silent. I looked at the rejection letter for my proposal, then at Harold's formal offer letter for the director position. The choice wasn't really a choice. It was a chance to do something real, something that mattered to me. I picked up a pen. My hand was steady. I signed my name on the dotted line, the ink bold and final. It felt like claiming a part of myself I had let others shrink for years. I emailed the signed documents back to Harold's assistant. The reply came instantly, "Welcome aboard, Director Ward. The organization will issue a public announcement of your position in 1 week." A public announcement. There would be no hiding now. The thought was terrifying, and a tiny, fierce part of me thrilled at it. 3 days later, Lila showed up at my apartment. She didn't call first. She stood in my doorway, her expression a masterpiece of wounded pride. "We need to talk," she said, brushing past me. "You've really done it this time, Lori. People are asking me questions. My reputation is suffering because of your little power play." I crossed my arms, leaning against the kitchen counter. "It's not a power play, Lila. It's my job." "Decline it," she said flatly. "For the sake of the family. Tell them you're not qualified, that you made a mistake. I'll handle the program. It's what's best for everyone." I stared at her, seeing the desperation beneath the command. "No," I said, the word clear and calm. "The answer is no." Lila's face hardened, all pretense dropping. "You're choosing this? Over your family?" She walked to the door, pausing with her hand on the knob. Her voice was low and cold. "Then you leave me no choice, Lori. Don't say I didn't warn you." The smear campaign started subtly. At the grocery store, Mrs. Turner from the garden club gave me a cold stare and turned her cart away. At the library, a member of the event committee I'd volunteered with suddenly became too busy to chat. Whispers followed me. Words like unstable, difficult to work with, and pity hire floated back to me through Megan, an old school friend who worked at the local paper. "They're saying you bullied your way into the role," Megan told me over coffee, her face concerned. "That the donor only picked you because you guilt-tripped them." I knew the source. When I asked Lila directly, her response was a text, "I have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe you should look at why people are saying these things about you." I felt isolated, the initial thrill of the job soured by suspicion. Then, Harold called. "Lori," he said, his tone urgent. "We found something you need to see. Can you come to the office?" Harold's assistant had compiled a file. It contained screenshots from a community forum and a local Facebook group. The posts, from a new account named Concerned Citizen, detailed vague but damaging claims about the new inexperienced and problematic program director. The writing style, once pointed out, was unmistakably Lila's. The timing coincided exactly with our argument. "We can make this public," Harold said firmly. "We can clear your name right now." I looked at the evidence, the proof of my sister's betrayal. A part of me wanted to scream it from the rooftops. But a quieter, stronger part resisted. "No," I said finally. "Not yet. If we release this, it just becomes a messy family feud. It distracts from the program." Harold studied me. "What's your plan?" "I want the truth to come out," I said. "But it has to unravel the right way." My phone buzzed. It was an official invitation to speak at the Foundation's next major gala, as the newly appointed program director. The invitation was both an honor and a trap. I knew Lila would be there, watching. I agreed to speak, but only about the program's vision, the kids, the art, the community. I began drafting a speech from the heart, ignoring the drama. Megan helped me practice. Meanwhile, through the family grapevine, I heard Lila was planning a major announcement of her own for the same gala. She had secured a new committee position elsewhere and intended to unveil it that night, to recapture the spotlight. The pressure mounted. A week before the event, a kindly board member, Mr. Phillips, pulled me aside after a meeting. "Lori," he said in a low voice, glancing around. "You're doing great work. But, watch your back at the gala. There are forces at play." His warning was clear. Lila was not done fighting. The force became clearer when Megan did some digging. She discovered that because the grant was awarded based on my specific proposal, and the contract was in my name as director, the funds were legally tied to my leadership. "It's a technicality, but a powerful one," Megan explained, showing me the bylaws. "The foundation cannot redirect these funds or the director role without your signature and just cause. Lila can't just take it. She has no legal standing." It was a small shield, but it mattered. Megan offered to write a positive piece about the program's launch to run after the gala. "We'll focus on the good you're doing," she promised. "It's the best antidote to poison." Having an ally who believed in the work, not the gossip, steadied me. For the first time, I didn't feel entirely alone. Lila sensed my quiet resolve. The whispers grew louder, now implying I was coaching kids for sympathy. Our mother called, her voice strained. "Lori, Lila is heartbroken. Whatever you did, you need to fix it. Apologize and let her help you with this program. You're tearing this family apart." That was the final straw. The years of bending, of shrinking, snapped. "Mom," I said, my voice calm but iron strong. "I have done nothing wrong. I will not apologize for a job I earned. And Lila will not be involved. This is my boundary. Please respect it." The silence on the line was stunned. Then came the ultimatum, from my father this time: "If you go through with this speech and don't make things right with your sister, we will not attend the gala. We will not support you." The choice was agonizingly simple: stand alone for what was true, or collapse and return to the back where no one would notice. The night of the gala arrived. I dressed in a simple, elegant dark green dress, my only armor my preparedness. I went alone. The ballroom was dazzling, full of familiar faces. My stomach churned with nerves. I held my head high, accepting a program from a server. Then the main doors opened. A hush fell over the crowd near the entrance. Lila walked in, dazzling in gold, on the arm of my father. My mother followed, beaming with pride. They had come. They had chosen their side. Lila scanned the room, found me standing alone, and flashed a triumphant, pitying smile. She owned the room, and she knew it. The event began. Dinner was served. I picked up my food, the speeches a blur. Finally, Ms. Evans took the stage to introduce the new community initiatives. And now, to tell us about the exciting new Ward Arts program, please welcome its director, Lori Ward. Polite applause began. But before I could stand, Lila was on her feet. She glided to the stage, taking the microphone from a confused Ms. Evans. Thank you, everyone. Before my sister speaks, I have some wonderful, related news to share. She beamed at the crowd. Many of you know how passionate I am about youth arts. In fact, my early work on the proposal that secured our key sponsor was just the beginning. She was rewriting history live on stage. I'm thrilled to announce that, due to my foundational efforts, I've been asked to chair the new citywide arts initiative. The crowd applauded, though some looked confused. I stood frozen, humiliated. Then Ms. Evans stepped forward again, a thick folder in her hand. She spoke firmly into her own mic. Lila, I'm sorry, but that's not correct. The room fell utterly silent. All eyes were on the stage. Ms. Evans opened the folder. The grant funding the Ward Arts program is legally and specifically tied to the proposal written by, and the directorship of, Lori Ward. The donor's stipulations are clear. There is no citywide initiative chair position. The records show no substantive work from you on this proposal, Lila. A soft gasp rippled through the audience. Lila's smile remained plastered on, but her eyes were wide with panic. She gave a light, forced laugh. Oh, there must be a paperwork mix-up. These bureaucratic things are so complicated. Ms. Evans did not laugh. She turned her gaze to me, her expression warm and inviting. Lori, the floor is yours. Please, come up and share your vision. I walked to the stage, my legs steady. I took the microphone from Ms. Evans, ignoring Lila as she stumbled down the steps. I looked out at the sea of faces, some curious, some sympathetic, some hostile. I found my parents' table. My father looked down at his plate. My mother's face was pale. I began my speech. I spoke about the kids in our neighborhood with talent and no outlet. I spoke about the power of paint and music and dance. I thanked the volunteers and the donor who believed in a dream. I did not mention Lila. I did not mention family. I spoke only of the work. When I finished, the applause was genuine and warm. As I stepped down, I saw Megan, my journalist friend, standing at the back of the room. She gave me a small, firm nod. It was a signal. The article was ready. The next morning, the local paper's online edition featured Megan's piece. The headline read, New Arts Program Brings Hope, led by local visionary. The article detailed the program's goals and my journey. Then, subtly, near the end, it stated, the program's funding came via a unique donor relationship, directly tied to the director's original proposal. Foundation officials confirmed that attempts by outside parties to claim credit for the work were unfounded and not supported by any evidence. No names were used. But in our small community, everyone knew. The phone began to ring. Some were congratulatory. Others were from people who had heard the rumors, now full of apologies. The truth was unspooling, just as I'd hoped. Lila found me that evening in the community center parking lot as I was locking up. You, she seethed, her composure gone. You humiliated me in front of everyone. You planted that article. I turned to face her. I didn't plant anything, Lila. I just stopped hiding the truth. What truth? She yelled. That you're a pathetic nobody who got lucky? I took a deep breath, my voice calm. The truth that you sent an email trying to steal my work. The truth that you ran a smear campaign against me with a fake account. I have the screenshots, Lila. Harold has them. The foundation has them. All the color drained from her face. I won't publish them, I continued. I won't be you. But if you ever try to undermine me or this program again, I won't stop them from going public. The abuse ends now. From around the corner of the building, my mother stepped out. Her hands were trembling. She had heard everything. Lila, she whispered, her voice broken. Is this true? Lila stared at our mother, her defiance crumbling into shame. She couldn't speak. She turned and ran to her car, peeling out of the parking lot. My mother looked at me, tears streaming down her face. Lori. We didn't know. My father walked up behind her, his shoulders slumped. The look on his face was one of pure, dawning regret. The idols had fallen. The golden child was tarnished. I felt no victory, only a deep, weary sadness. I need to go, I said quietly, and got into my own car. As I drove away, my phone rang. It was Harold. Lori, Harold said, his voice brimming with uncharacteristic excitement. Sit down. I just got off the phone with the State Arts Council. They read the press about the program, reviewed your full proposal, and they're impressed. They're offering a matching grant to expand the model to 3 neighboring counties. I pulled the car over, my hands shaking. What? The program is going statewide, Lori. Because of your leadership, your integrity through all this nonsense. They want you to oversee the expansion. The world seemed to spin. Are you ready? Harold asked. This will mean national attention eventually. Before I could answer, another call beeped through, a number I didn't recognize, with a big city area code. A major nonprofit. Harold chuckled. I think you're about to find out if you're ready. Take that call. In the weeks that followed, my new reality solidified. I was inundated with real work, hiring staff, planning the expansion, meeting with the state council. Meanwhile, Lila's world contracted. The truth, once loose, spread quickly. The citywide initiative chair position vanished. Her spot on the museum board was not renewed. Invitations to key social events dried up. The people she had gossiped to now gossiped about her. One rainy afternoon, she showed up at my office. Her glamour was gone, she looked tired and small. Lori, she said, her voice raw. Please. You have to help me. No one will return my calls. I'm losing everything. She was crying real tears. They all think I'm a liar because of you. I handed her a box of tissues. I felt no joy in her downfall, only a distant pity. I won't help you, Lila, I said softly. Not by lying for you or giving you credit you don't deserve. That's what got you here. She looked up, hopeless. Then what do I do? You start by being honest, I said. To yourself, and then to the people you misled. A real apology isn't I'm sorry you got hurt. It's I'm sorry I did this. You rebuild from there, or you don't. I was not her savior. I was not her judge. I was simply a woman who had finally chosen herself. She left my office, her head bowed. That evening, my phone buzzed with a final, decisive message. It was from the foundation board chairman. Asterisk, the vote is unanimous, Lori. Congratulations. It's official. Asterisk. The official title was Statewide Director of Community Arts Initiatives. The press release went out the next day, with my photo and a quote about community and potential. There was no mention of family drama. My victory was quiet, solid, and built entirely on the work. I sat on a bench in the very park where my program would hold its first summer class. The late afternoon sun was warm. I felt peaceful. The chaos was over. I had won not by tearing Lila down, but by building something stronger than her pettiness. My phone lit up with a new text. It was from Harold Marsh. "Congratulations, Director Ward. You earned every bit of it." I smiled, put the phone away, and watched a group of kids chase bubbles across the grass. My place was no longer at the back. It was here, right where I was meant to be.